All right, welcome to 2-3, adding integers. We just added integers using symbols and number lines. Today we're going to add them without. Okay, next up you do have a quiz. So after you finish this lesson, you will take a quiz and you can use your notes. And then we're going to be subtracting integers. So we have two objectives today. I will be able to add integers and explain the process. There's no vocabulary today, so we're just going to get started. So this first one says use symbols to evaluate negative 13 plus 16. Okay, so I'll do that first and we'll go back to these questions. So negative 13 means we need 13 negatives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, now I have 16 positives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, since we lined it up this way, we can see that all of these are zero pairs. I'm not going to circle them individually because I'm way too lazy. Okay, so these are all zero pairs, so they all are out of here. So I'm left over with positive 3. So negative 13 plus 16 equals a positive 3. So what we want to think here is, were there more positives or more negatives? Well, there were more positives, and that's why they were left over. That's an R. More positives. And how else could we have gotten that answer? Well, when we got rid of all of these positives and negatives here, we really took 16 positives and we did 16 minus 13 because we took away 13 of those positives because there was 13 negatives. So we could have just subtracted 16 minus 13 because that would just give us 3 because we had 16 positives and we took away 13 because 13 of them had a negative. Okay, so that's kind of the idea here, is that we have some positives and negatives here. Okay, so if they have the same symbol, a positive plus a positive or a negative plus a negative, that means there will not be any zero pairs. So we just add the numbers and the sign stays the same. So by sign, I mean positive and negative. Okay, different symbols or different signs. That's really what it should say. Whoops. Positive plus a negative or negative plus a positive. What we're actually going to do is subtract the numbers. So here when we had 13 of the same, 13 zero pairs, we're taking them away. And taking away is the same thing as subtracting. And in step 2, we're going to keep the sign of the bigger number. The reason why we need to do this is because when we get problems like example 2, we don't want to draw 33 plus signs. That's a lot of work. Okay, so we're kind of getting the idea of how can we do that without drawing 33 plus signs. Okay, so number 1, we have negative 9 plus negative 12. So is it the same sign or different? And that's what this is, okay? So they're the same. So when they're the same, we're just going to add 9 plus 12. Okay, so 9 plus 12. 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we get 21. Okay, and I need to keep the sign. So since they're both negative, that means it's going to be a negative. So negative 21. So that's my answer. And that's it. So rather than drawing out 9 negatives and 12 negatives, we could just add, and we get negative 21. All right, example 2. Evaluate the expression negative 24 plus 33. So same sign or different. They are different. Okay, so what that actually means is we are going to subtract first. All right, and when we subtract, we'll still take the kind kind of like the larger number, and put it on top. Okay, so we're going to take 33 minus 24. So borrow, so this becomes 13. So 13 minus 4 is 9, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So we get 9. And now we're going to keep the sign of the bigger number, okay? And it's not really the bigger number, it's the one that has more. So if I had 24 negatives and 33 positives, which one do I have more of? Do I have more negatives or do I have more positives? And 33 positives is more than 24 negatives. So we would keep it positive. Because 24 negatives or 33 positives. Which one's bigger? The positives, so we keep it positive. Okay? So our answer is positive 9. Okay? Next page. All right, example 3. We're going to evaluate the expression 176 plus negative 367. So this one especially is a reason why we don't want to use a number line, or we don't want to always have to write it out, because that would be a lot of pluses and a lot of negatives, and that would not be fun. So we have different signs here. So what we're actually going to do first is we are going to subtract. So we're going to take the 367 minus 176. So 7 minus 6 is 1. I can't do 6 minus 7, so I borrow. That becomes 16. So 16 minus 7 is 9. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So I get 191. Alright, then I need to decide which one has more. Okay, so I would have 176 positives, or I have 367 negatives. So would I have more positives or negatives if I were going to write it out? I would have way more negatives. So this one's bigger, kind of, it's not really bigger, but it has more. So we're going to make it a negative answer. So we get negative 191. Okay? The reason again is because if we made 0 pairs, we would run out of positives. We would only have negatives left over. Okay, example 4 says evaluate the expression 250 plus negative 187. So are they the same sign or different? We have a positive plus a negative. So that means they are different. So we start off by doing subtraction. So I'm going to do 250 minus 187. So I'm going to start off by borrowing. So this becomes a 4, 10. So 10 minus 7 is 3. Borrow from the 2. So I get 14 minus 8 is 6. Okay, so we have 250 positives, and we have 187 negatives. So which one do we have more of? Do we have more positives or more negatives? We have way more positives, so our answer is going to be positive answer. Our answer is going to be positive. I don't know what I said there. Positive answer. So I get a positive 63. Okay, last one. Example 5 says evaluate the expression 87 plus 714. So are they the same sign or different? They are the same. So that means that we just add them. So 87 plus 714. So 7 plus 4 is 11, carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus another 1 is 10, carry the 1. And we get 7 plus 1 is 8, so we get 801. And then we keep the sign, so since it was positive plus positive, it's just a positive. So this is a problem I threw in that you should have done before today, because it's just adding like normal. Alright, summary. When adding integers, pay attention to their sign. If they are the same sign, we add the numbers and keep the sign. Like example, this is like example 1 and 5. Okay? If they are different signs, we actually subtract because we're getting rid of all those 0 pairs. And the numbers keep the sign that has more. So if you're going to draw it out, was there more positives or more negatives? Okay, and that's like examples 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and that is it.